Hey there, welcome to NZ Money Karma, where you can find freedom from the daily grind through budgeting, simple living, and adventure. Today I'm going to take you all through exactly what my family of four spent for the month of May 2025. We are 2 adults, 2 teenagers, and we live in Ototahi, Christchurch, New Zealand. And each month I take you through what my frugal family spends. So let's check it out. First up is the pantry. We have 2 pantries. This is just one of them. In the month of May, we spent $593.26 on all our food. I've spent $35 on a new pair of shoes for my daughter, and I'm just halfway through the cleaning process, but I thought I would actually just show you a before and after, so you can kind of see this is how they've arrived. They're in really good nick. Like you can see, they have only been worn a handful of times. There's no marking inside, like there's no heel marks or toe marks. So they've been worn a handful of times, by someone else's teenager. And this is how they are. So normally I'll have to have a look online and see exactly how much they are because I can't quite remember. But they're normally at least $150. I bought these for $35. I've already taken the laces out and given them a wash so that they're nice and white. And now I'm just going to clean them up a wee bit for my daughter so that when she gets them, she feels like she's got a new pair of shoes, not kind of old shoes. So yeah, $35 plus postage, so $40 for a new pair of shoes. And I'll pop a photo in of the finished product. And that's how they turned out once I'd finished. And here's another trade me buy. These are in excellent condition. They have probably been worn once, I would say, and then the person's realised that they're not the right size. Hopefully they are the right size for us. So these are basketball shoes, I guess, but really just casual. You can see they're in excellent condition. So they were $40, and usually, they've actually still got the price on the inside. Don't know if you can see that in there. $169.95, I think it says. Yeah, they're pretty big. They look huge, but my kid does have big feet, but they look really big to me. So fingers crossed. That's the only thing with buying something online, isn't it? That sometimes you can get the sizing wrong and end up having to resell it. But overall, I think pretty happy with those. They look pretty snazzy. And yeah, so that's $40 for the shoes, and then what will it be? Close to $10 for postage, so $50 all up. So that's not a bad effort. For $90, I've probably got around $300 worth of shoes. And these here for $82 from Rebel Sports, brand new. They're in a sale. So it's got sports shoes now and casual. And then here I've got 2 of the 4 pairs of glasses that I bought. That came in at $600, so it was $299 for 2 sets each. And they're really snazzy. For that price, I'm super happy. So there's girl ones. And here's some boy ones. Where are they? I'm pretty happy with that. So obviously there's another set each that they are hopefully wearing on their faces at the moment. So $600 for 4 pairs of glasses. Now when we had kids, we thought all our Saturday mornings were going to be taken up with sports, and that hasn't been true up until this year. Now all of a sudden the kids are right into sports, and that obviously increases our sports costs. So this month we spent $50 on classes, $120 on a tournament, $207 for fees, and then $67.99 for the headgear. So all up $482.29. Eek! But it is one of those things that I feel is a real priority. If I really had to cut anything out, there are other things I would cut before I would cut kids' sports costs. I think it's really important. And part of being a kid in New Zealand is playing Saturday morning sports. This is where we keep all our internet hidden underneath this bench seat. So power and internet this month came to $173.29. So that includes our internet and our power. We paid for our yearly phone bill. We are with a provider where we just pay for unlimited phone calls and texts to New Zealand and Australian numbers, and that costs $160 for the entire year. There is also a little amount of data included in that, but you can see we have it's all got a bit of paint on there because I've been painting. We have a non-smartphone, so data doesn't really help us at all. This is just, a phone like a phone used to be. We just want to be able to call people and text people. So that's our one family phone. I don't have another phone. My husband doesn't have another phone. That's just what we use. And here we have $149 for one gas bottle. That provides all our hot water for the home. So $149 for that. We spent $918 on an electrician. Annoyingly, we have these little spotlights. We also have a big hanging light, but see these little spotlights here? They're wired in, so they're not something that you can change yourself. And we had one of those that it's been flickering for ages, and we just kind of hoped it would go away and fix itself. Funnily enough, it didn't, so we had to pay an electrician to come in and fix it. So we got that done, and I'll show you up here also. These spotlights here we had replaced, so they've got a whole new unit and bulbs. We did have a spotlight there, but we had changed the bulbs, but it still didn't fix the problem, and they were also flickering, as were those. So we got two new spotlights, bulbs, and the flickering ones in the other room fixed, as well as we got a new heater for our bathroom as well. The old one, it wasn't something we used very often, but sometimes when people would come to stay, they would use it and it would make a terrible burning smell. So we thought that is not good. So while we had the electrician here, we decided just to get that replaced as well. And I'm sure on a very frosty, cold morning, I might use it too. In amongst the drying fence palings, we also bought some more things so that we could finish this fence that we're working on. So we got some new rollers. They were $30.15. We bought 2 buckets of paint. You would be surprised how much paint this picket fence is taking. I am surprised. So we bought 2 big pails of paint, and they were $239.05 each. Yeah. So that on top of the fence, but that's all in our sinking fund, so it's fine. It's just one of those things I think, crikey, when will it ever finish? But I'm getting there. I'll show you my progress. It's not been a very, very nice day today, but warm enough, I thought, to get a tiny bit of paint on those palings. So those are all the completed ones. And I've got about, 150, 160 left to go. My husband had a little prang in our car, and we paid a $500 excess to fix the other person's bumper. There was absolutely no damage to our car, and to be honest, there was no damage that anyone could see on the other, and they did say they would call us. We gave them our number, and they did say they would call us and just let us know, if anything came up. We didn't hear from them for about 6 weeks, and then we got a call from the insurance agency saying, hey, you owe $500 excess on this problem. So I don't know what happened there, but anyway, we paid the $500 excess. I bought some washing soda crystals. You can see them there. That's what I use to make our homemade washing powder, the stuff that we use to wash our clothes with. Oh, what did I pay for that? It was only a couple of bucks. $2.04 for the washing soda. The kids both needed new mouth guards. Hopefully their braces are going to come off soon. So I decided to buy them some in advance. I got them from AliExpress, and I also bought new bike lights. So I actually bought 4 sets of those, one red, one white. So each of us has new bike lights. So for the bike lights and the mouth guards, $19.59. Really, you can't go wrong. And I've bought these pretty much very similar lights before, and they lasted a good couple of years before they stopped recharging properly. So I'm pretty happy with that. And there are some expenses that you just can't foresee. We had a funeral in my husband's family that he needed to attend, and for that it cost us $239.28 for food that he contributed to the kind of group effort, and $338 for return flights. And we're really grateful. Air New Zealand actually provide a really beautiful service that when you need to get somewhere quickly because of like maybe a dying relative or a funeral, they capped the airfare. So the capped airfare was $338. If it hadn't been capped, it would have been somewhere around the $700 mark, just because it's happening, so quickly. You don't have any ability to kind of wait and get a good deal. You just have to go the next day. So we were super grateful for that, and that cost us $577.28. So all up for the month of May, we spent $4,812.99. Again, this is over our $3,333 that we budget out of our $40,000 a year, but that's the beauty of sinking funds. The money that we actually spent that didn't come from sinking funds was well under our $3,333. It was only $2,309.74. So that gives us a lot of leeway, a lot of an ability to meet our needs without going into debt. So the extra money, the $1,000 that we haven't spent this month from the allocated money, that's gone into other sinking funds. So we just start to replenish those, whether or not that comes from an emergency fund, whether that comes from, a planned sinking fund, like in my cash stuffing, like optometry. We've cleaned that out. We bought $600 worth of glasses. Now it's time to start replenishing that. Little bits often will soon add up. So I'm a massive fan of an emergency fund. I'm a massive fan of sinking funds. I think that is what keeps you kind of on the straight and narrow. So that's it for me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Hopefully you're managing to keep on top of your budget, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye for now.